What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and we just broke 200,000 freaking subscribers. This is a milestone that is just so epic, I genuinely cannot comprehend this. The fact that we're now just about 1/5 of the way to 1,000,000 subscribers, it is just beyond my comprehension. So today, I wanted to tell you a story. Now, this is a very personal story that's going to sound sad, but I promise it has a very happy ending. I want to tell you guys how specifically you have changed my life, and for the better. So growing up, I've always considered myself to be a very creative person. I always liked the process of making things, whether it be doing something in RPG Maker or just trying to create something out of Legos. I've always enjoyed the process of sitting down and making something that did not exist that morning. Well, when I was about 8 or 9 years old, my mom was very addicted to drugs. She would actually do speed, Adderall. She would basically stay awake for days at a time, and it made her a very bad parent. I mean, obviously, she would hallucinate. She would say just horrible things to me, even though I was a child. And one day I came home and I used to write these little short stories. Usually what I would do is, just as like a mental experiment at about 8 years old, I would take existing universes and write extra characters into them. So like I would take Resident Evil, and I mean I was way too young to be playing it, but I liked Resident Evil, and I would write extra characters into the stories. I mean, it was basically just fan fiction, but as primitive as these stories certainly were, because I was a kid, I still had so much love for these characters I would create. Well, one time I came home and my mom was especially high this day, and she had decided for some reason to rip up all the stories I'd written. The piles of notes, I had like a big old stash of stories I'd written, and she for some reason decided to shred them. So I came home and I just saw the piles of paper of every character I'd ever created. Now, in the moment, it hurt my feelings, of course, right? I mean, it's something I had made. I'd poured my love into this thing, and it had been destroyed for absolutely no reason. But it ended up having a lasting effect. It ended up having this scar inside of me, which made it where all my creations after that, I had this habit where I felt as if I was supposed to destroy my own creations out of that. Whenever I would make something for the rest of the next 20 years, I would destroy it afterward. If I wrote an entry in a journal, a lot of times I'd rip it out later. If I did make a building out of Legos and enjoyed it, usually within a day or two, I'd smash it. It was just a habit of mine. And it was just a habit I couldn't break because it felt like I was supposed to do it. It wasn't out of anger. It wasn't out of some weird sense of justice. It just felt like the things I made were not supposed to exist. Well, flash forward a bunch of years, there I am trying to figure out YouTube. YouTube became this certain different thing because it felt like for the first time I was not allowed to destroy the things I had created. I would sit down every morning and I'd really try and think up a fun news story to talk about. I'd try and just play a game and write a review or something. And every day I would want to try and make something. And once I had put it onto the internet, it no longer felt appropriate to destroy it. It felt like I had given it away to a friend, which maybe that'll seem like a goofy thing to say, but it really kind of cured me of this sense that I must destroy what I create. And so as this just keeps getting growing and as the channel just keeps exploding more and more and I get on trending and stuff like that, it makes me realize that I was wrong to have destroyed what I created for so many years. And now this has just become such a crazy journey where I finally learned to love what I've made. Like the fact that I've been able to go on stage with Greg Miller from Kinda Funny. The fact that I've played games so freaking rare they hardly even exist. The fact that I've been able to talk to people, travel around, be on stages and stuff. I don't know, I'm eternally thankful because you guys have helped me get over what was definitely my greatest fear, my greatest flaw, the problem of making. Now I can celebrate everything I've ever done. Thank you guys so much for making my life what it is today. I genuinely cannot thank you guys enough. This has just been such a wild ride, and the fact that this just keeps getting bigger and better and even more epic, I am thankful for every freaking morning where I get to wake up and freaking talk to you guys about video games. Thank you. And now I guess onward to 1 million. God, keep dreaming.